Hello everyone, welcome to my Roblox scripting series where I teach you how to script on Roblox. In this video I'm going to show you everything you need to know about functions. So functions are basically the same things as variables, but they store lines of code instead of values. For example, if I wanted to store the changing of a base plate's transparency, I can make a function that holds that line of code, and whenever I want to change the transparency, I don't have to explicitly write these lines of code to do that task. I just have to call the function name like this. I call that function by stating the function name with a pair of open and closed parentheses. Doing this runs the code in that function. Just like how variables are useful for holding references or values, functions are useful for holding lines of code, especially when there's a big chunk of code that needs to be used multiple times. You can also add arguments to functions, which are variables needed in order for the function to run. You can add these variables in the parentheses of the function and use them wherever needed. The most basic example comes from mathematics in the equation f of x equals x, or more simply known as y equals x. Whatever you put in for x, the value of y, or f of x, will be the same. This is what happens when you use arguments in functions. You can see the similar syntax layout to mathematics. For instance, let's make a function that changes the base plate's transparency to an argument given in our function called newTransparency. We can now use the newTransparency argument as a variable to set our base plate's transparency to. Now, every time we call our function, in the parentheses, we give our function a value of the transparency we want, and the function will run as if there was a variable named newTransparency set to whatever value you inserted into the parentheses. You can also add things called return statements to the end of a function. Return statements basically give the function a value as if it were a regular variable. For example, let's say I wanted to make a function named getSum that added 0.1 to whatever argument it was given. Now I can add a return statement and return the sum of 0.1 and whatever number and make it act as a variable. I could use this for a number of things in my script. Here, I'm using the return value of the function getSum as a value to set the transparency of the base plate to. Functions are very powerful aspects of programming. You will be making a lot of functions in Roblox, so it is best to start practicing that while scripting now. Thanks for watching, please leave a comment on how you felt on the video, and I will see you in the next tutorial.